this goes. I think this is just me doing something because I'm I've got more questions than answers. I've got two. I have two little lights. So here we are. Let's see what happens. We're gonna, because maybe the chat will work this time. We'll see what happens. Here I am in my gray shirt. The previous stream I did, there was a hawk flying overhead, and it was, you could hear it. You know what I think that God gives us more life so that we could learn more about ourselves. There's still much more work. And I think trusting the process is a big thing. Because my ego is taking a big hit. My actual self-worth is taking a big hit. And because a person feels like they're worth more if they're causing things, if they're being a mover and a shaker, if they're out there and earning money and pulling in cash and pulling in money and pulling in funds and supplying the needs of themselves and others. But when you're just a turtle on your back, or you're so deep within yourself, because what depression does is it knocks you into yourself, and you're not aware of what's going on around you. You're just aware of what's got you sad. You're just aware of what's got you down. And what's funny is the subconscious just confirms. That's all it's doing. It's confirming. Confirming everything. Your worst fears, your sadness. It's just being confirmed until you focus on something else. And that's what's interesting about this reality. Reality is just you causing things. Causing the movies that you play in your head are what's caused. It's self-inflicted suffering. And I think my whole life has been self-inflicted suffering. It could be a sunny day. It could be a nice day at the beach. It could be a nice day at Six Flags or, Universal Studios. And you're actually as weak as you think you are. If you stop thinking about how weak you are, or how poor your vision is, or it's that law of assumption, that law of expectation. If you expect to open your eyes and see everything blurry, then that's what you're expecting, and that's what you'll get. And that's what I've been noticing in my life. It seems like poverty, sadness, worry, it's all self-inflicted. And And I think a lot of focusing on and getting other people to focus on something that's called a pendulum, I've noticed, or what I've heard somebody talking about a pendulum, and to be aware and wary of pendulums, because it's the observer effect. When you observe something, it becomes something. You know, these small particles that they're not even sure are particles. Are particles light? Are particles waves? Are particles, you know, particles are, we want to see particles, I think. I think because it's cause and effect. It's our, we want to see something. Even, I mean, in our reality, it's true. In our reality, that's something we want to see, is it becomes fact to us. And it's because you might think somebody's following you. You might think somebody's out to get you. But that person, deep within their heart and mind, they're not following you. You look up and you see the same person. They're probably not following you. Sometimes you're manifesting them. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, am I manifesting you, or are you manifesting me? Because that's how powerful our minds are. And that's, it's a lot of things to consider, you know. If we really believe something, then it becomes real to us. You know, and also to other people. If you're a hateful person, if you're a mean person, other people are going to notice you as a mean person, a hateful person, or a sad person. And you wonder why you're alone a lot. Could it be because you're a sad person and people want to avoid you? People aren't scheduling appointments with you. People aren't trying to meet up with you. Every time they see you, you're talking about your heart attack. Every time they see you, you're talking about what makes you sad, instead of trying to shift. Sometimes it's just a small shift, you know, like a train. I was talking about trains in another stream. And it's like those, all you have to do is adjust those tracks. And you see how powerful a train is once it changes direction. It could go to a different destination, and all it takes is a little switch to divert that train to another set of tracks that takes them to another destination. In fact, there's a guided meditation that I involved myself in about a shift in reality. And it involved you getting on board a train. Getting on board a train and traveling on that train. And I think there's a lot of things that are our own personal consciousness, and there are a lot of things that are the collective consciousness. And when you start doing something that agrees with the collective consciousness, it's that much more powerful. Like when you join a religion or start talking about a religion, people are more inclined to believe, to pick up what you're putting down. If everyone believes the same thing, that involves you in a pendulum. That involves you in something greater than just one person thinking and believing. But then again, it can go the other way. You know, if one person can get a lot of people to believe, then it creates an entity. It creates something very powerful. If you think about, every movement was started by something, by someone, by one person. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Buddha, Jesus, all these people were one person, and they affected many people. And these things gain momentum and last generations. These movements. There's less resistance when you have more people believing. There's less resistance. And that's why I'd like to start some kind of silent prayer movement, because sometimes people are going through a lot. They're going through a lot, and they don't want to share it with other people, but they still need prayer. And I think they call that in my church unspoken prayer request. Does anybody have an unspoken prayer request? And I think that's what we need to pray for, is those unspoken prayer requests. That's what I like to do, is like, anybody who's watching the stream, leave in the comments your prayer, or just say unspoken. And then everybody who reads that will understand that it's an unspoken prayer request. Because you might be going through a depression about something you feel very guilty about, something you did that you feel very guilty about, and you just need prayer, but you don't want everybody to know it. And you just need an unspoken prayer request to be answered. Because God knows our needs before we ask them. God knows what our needs are, but he still wants us to ask. That's what I was raised with, So when I pray, sometimes I say, please answer the prayers that I know of and the prayers that I don't know of. Because there might be something coming your way that you don't even know is going to happen. But God knows it's going to happen. And you need to ask God to protect you from it. I think that's what it is a shift in my awareness. I've become more God conscious, I guess. Because we're not separate from God. We need to know how to interact with God instead of getting mad at God or blaming God. Become accountable for ourselves, what we're doing with our time, the mind movies that we're playing in our heads. Because sometimes if we honestly looked at the way we wanted things to play out, it would be horrible. It would just go horribly. Like winning the lottery. I hear so many stories of people who win the lottery and it just ruins their lives. And it's kind of like, give us this day our daily bread. Sometimes that's all we can handle is our daily bread. Cover our expenses. Right? I think that's a hawk. No, that's a crow. So I've been visited by a hawk and a crow. And I don't want to come off as somebody who has all the answers. But I do want to say I know a thing or two about a thing or two. I know a thing or two about a thing or two. And because everything, I really want to be honest with myself. And I want to know myself. think that's one of the Greek philosophers said that know yourself and you'll know the universe, which goes along with correspondence. You know, once you understand correspondence, you can understand the angels. You can understand all the other planes of existence. You know, developing friendships that where you're, because I've noticed my mother, I've noticed my brother, they're helping other people, you know, and maybe this is me helping other people, you know, getting on here and doing a stream and just, because you never know if you're helping another person by what you say. Because I've been in some focus groups, I guess, or talk groups, and sometimes you don't realize how much you're helping other people just by sitting and talking. You know, that talk therapy, those kind words, or those words that make people think. And I think we are multidimensional people. We're multidimensional beings. There's more than meets the eye, like the Transformers. More than meets the eye. Because you never know by looking at somebody how much wisdom they have, or how much insight they have, or how much they've been through, or what their abilities are. You look at people and you kind of wonder, but then you start to see things over time. And I think this is my therapy too. I've mentioned that people are watching my streams. I think my last stream got 31 views. 31 people decided to watch my stream. And I'm only 17 minutes into this stream. And I think that's what it is. You know, if you need prayer, and I think this is needed, this is much needed, because these times, all these dimensions are becoming aware of each other. And they're multidimensional beings who are starting to become aware of us. And we're starting to become aware of them. And they're seeing how off we are, you know. They're seeing us, how we treat each other, the mind movies that we play in our heads, how we are self-inflicting. You know, if we're depressed, we're inflicting that depression upon ourselves. If we are anxious, we're inflicting that anxiety upon ourselves. And it's sad to watch somebody hurt themselves. You know, I was in an institute where I saw people who had scars on their arms. That's physical self-infliction. You know, they had scars or cuts on their arms that they put there themselves. And it's just sad to watch, sad to try to fathom or understand self-inflicted harm. And I think a lot of depression is self-inflicted, you know. A lot of times it's because we don't see the answer. We don't see in the moment we're living in, we don't see the answer to our suffering. So we keep playing these scenarios out in our heads, and it's inflicting self-harm. I was telling my brother, the worst thing you could do is think. That's the worst thing you can do, is think. So be aware of your subconscious. Be aware of every little thought you have, because every little thought you have is affecting your subconscious. You're putting your body through damage. You're putting your body through damage. You're putting your emotional body through damage. You're putting your spiritual body through damage when you're thinking and getting out. I'm challenging myself to get out and do a walk or go for a walk. Just go out and go for a walk. And if you're frustrated, go for a walk. If you're feeling anxious, go for a walk. Because you disconnect that way, I believe. I've done that a lot. When I'm having struggles with my brothers, struggles with my mother, struggles with co-workers, bosses, whatever, you know, I used to just go for walks in nature. And when I do that, I'm disconnecting. Or just lay flat on your bed. If you can't get outside, make sure your bed is the most comfortable place in your house. Lay down on your back. Put your arms to your sides. Put your legs side by side. And just feel how nice it feels. Notice how nice it feels to lay on your back and put your head on the pillow and just close your eyes, because it feels like you're floating when you lay on your back on your bed. Make your bed, lay down on it, and put your hands to your sides. Put your hands palms down, straighten your legs, and just lay there with your eyes closed and breathe naturally and normally. And it'll feel like you're floating. It'll feel like, and then just start to think about where you want to be, how your life is already wonderful. Your life is already, and this is science. This is psycho-cybernetics, Neville Goddard stuff. You know, put yourself already where you want to be. You've taught yourself how to worry. You need to teach yourself how to put yourself where you want to be. On a beach, you know, standing in a field, on a hilltop, looking down. It's a beautiful day. And this is how you can stop inflicting harm on yourself. You're actually causing healing when you put yourself where you want to be. Play a good mind movie. Play a really good mind movie. And then you'll notice that the universe starts to mirror that. The universe starts to mirror. You'll find yourself at a park. You'll find yourself with friends, because the universe is mirroring you. And then just let go of all that other stuff. Because no matter what you've done, I'm pretty sure somebody has done something much worse. No matter how much you're suffering, somebody is probably suffering a lot worse. You know, and it makes it that much easier to let go of that self-inflicting thought, that thought that you inflict on yourself. And I guess this is a guided meditation. This is me guiding you through your thoughts. Sometimes just by imagining, you know, imagine you are walking on a pathway through a park, and it's a beautiful day. All of your bills are paid. All of your debts are fully covered. All of your debts are fully paid off, paid in full. You just had a really good meal, and you're walking through the park, and you're hearing everything you would hear at a park. You're feeling the ground under your feet. You can actually hear as you step the leaves. You can hear all the commotion. You can hear the breeze, feel the breeze. Involve all of your senses, whatever you smell, touch, taste. You're seeing. Everything that's pleasing to your senses. You're experiencing everything pleasing to your senses. You stop and stand. Your body is perfect. There's nothing wrong with your body at all. Your clothes feel comfortable upon your body. And you just realize that everything is okay. Everything is okay. And you just let that sink in. Everything is taken care of that you could possibly think of. Everything is taken care of. You did everything you were supposed to do. You're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. You're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Everything has gone smoothly. You are right now enjoying life. You can finally enjoy life. It feels so good. Deep within your being, it feels so good to know that everything is wonderful. It's wonderful that everything is okay. Every little detail of your life is worked out. You have no worries. You have no concerns. You are more than your physical body. You are limitless. You can change anything. Nothing really needs to be changed because everything is perfect. Everything is perfect right now. Everything has worked out. You feel so good right now. Just let it sink in. Let it sink in that everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Everything is worked out. You feel so peaceful right now. You feel so peaceful. There are only solutions. There are only solutions. You can do anything. There are no limits. You are free to do whatever you want to do. Feel happiness right now. Feel happiness right now. Allow yourself to bring into your reality what you really want, as long as it does not hurt yourself or someone else. It's okay. As long as it does not hurt yourself or someone else, it's okay. Let your imagination fulfill every thought. And just keep breathing. Keep breathing. And know that everything you need is always fulfilled and available. Everything you need is always what you already have. You already have what you already need, what you need. This is what hypnotherapy feels like. Share this with somebody. I guess I did what I can do right now. 32 minutes in. You're becoming more and more aware. You're becoming more and more aware of yourself, of how you interact with all the other dimensions. You catch yourself now. You realize if you're doing any self-inflicting things, anything that's self-inflicting, you realize it and you stop it. Because now you're aware. I just hope some people start chatting with me again. And you can do this at any time, as long as you're not driving, as long as you're not operating heavy machinery. I think another stream I want to do is I want to create anchors. I want to create anchors like if you find yourself struggling, if you find yourself getting frustrated or anxious or sad, I want to put an anchor. An anchor is when you do something physically to put yourself in a hypnotic state. If you do something that puts yourself into a hypnotic state instantly, because that's all it takes, saying a word or doing a gesture. Sometimes it's just as easy as putting your index finger and your thumb and your index finger together. That can trigger. It's a trigger, sometimes a trigger word. Relax. Relax. It's how you say it too, not only the word, but how you say it. Relax. And that'll instantly put you in that hypnotic state. It'll instantly put you into that that state of mind, and you'll feel all that anxiety leave you. You'll feel all that frustration, sadness, depression. So that's sometimes all it takes is a trigger word. If you ever watch a stage hypnotist, or snap my fingers, when I snap my fingers, because that's a cue. It's a cue to your subconscious to start a process or to put you in a state. Or sometimes just put your hand on your knee. Put your hands on your knees and feel all of the anxiety leaving you. Feel yourself become optimistic. Feel courage flow into your body when you put your hands on your knees. Feel that courage flow into your body. Or create your own trigger, create your own anchor. Your own anchor can be touch the tip of your nose, touch the tip of your nose. Or something subtle will trigger that reaction. Go was another one. Master Tai was a martial arts teacher, and saying the word go is what puts you into a state of being. And we can kind of work that out in time. Yeah. It comes and goes. Sometimes I'll have some people who chat. I think somebody will get something out of each of these streams. I've been talking for 37 minutes. I think right now, just breathe. Remember to breathe. Because a lot of us forget to breathe. Breathe and realize, or remember you're human. Remember this is a process. We're learning. We're all learning. You never stop learning. You never stop finding out things, discovering things that can help yourself and others. Just sitting outside. I think this would be a good way. We could just meditate together. The word meditate means to become familiar with. Sometimes you got to become familiar with the fact that you are more than meets the eye. You're more than your physical body. You are a multidimensional being, or you exist on many planes of existence, on the spiritual plane, on the physical plane, on the emotional plane. Sometimes you could just by sitting still, you can discover things. What I seek seeks me. That's a good mantra. What I seek seeks me. They say there are no coincidences. There are no accidents. Sometimes we just pick up on something. Sometimes we just learn something. We meet the right people when we're ready to meet them. Like Hermes said, how did he put it? When the teacher is ready, no, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And maybe now a lot of students are ready. A lot of students are ready. Sometimes we got to let things change. We got to let things change. 'Cause a lot of times we're so set in our ways, we don't flow into the next moment. We need to just flow into the next moment. I found myself here in Georgia. I used to live in California. For many years I was in California. I never ever thought I'd be in Georgia. I never thought I'd be in Georgia. Georgia is on the East Coast. California is on the West Coast. I never thought I'd be here. And sometimes you just gotta let life unfold. Just watch, because sometimes all you can do is observe. I've noticed that in my life. Just observe. Just observe. You can't really do much about your situation at the time it's happening. You can do little things like make decisions. I think that's the hardest part is letting things unfold before your eyes. Because a lot of times there's a reason the boulder is rolling down the hill. We don't know why the boulder is rolling down the hill. All we can do is watch the boulder roll down the hill. And it's hard to do that. Every fiber of my being wants to not have that boulder roll down the hill and take a couple of animals with it, or watch a mudslide, or watch that train crash. And that's the hardest thing. It's hard to just sit and watch a bolt of lightning strike a tree, or a bolt of lightning strike a person. But it happens. And I think that's very traumatic. Very traumatic to have a thing happen in front of you, like watching your dog get hit by a car, or watch a friend die of cancer. I don't know why I'm thinking about this stuff, but it's these things in life that traumatize us, that cause depression, that cause us to feel frustrated and upset. And it makes you wonder why in the world does somebody have to suffer? Why in the world does somebody have to go through what they go through? And they say that we choose our lives before we live them. Everything is planned out before we are even born. And I guess I want to see things improve. Like have things be rough at first and then improve, instead of go the other way. Have things be nice and swimmingly and fun, and then have things get worse, progressively worse. But then again, am I self-inflicting? I think an alarm needs to go off. A little alarm needs to go off in our heads when we begin self-inflicting. Because me sitting in this chair, there's no harm in me sitting in this chair. There's no harm in me just breathing. It's what I'm running through in my head, the mind movie I'm playing in my head, that's causing harm. And I think once we tame our thoughts, we'll be better off. Because like right now, it's quiet. I'm looking at the trees. I'm looking at the flag. I'm breathing. I have this nice city scene behind me. And how I could ruin it is by playing mind movies. Playing mind movies and experiencing trauma that I'm not physically experiencing. Like the future. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in the future. Because when I was sitting in California, I never thought I'd have a open heart surgery. You know, it's like I never thought that I'd be dependent upon medication probably for the rest of my life. I think that's an eagle. That's got to be an eagle. Very quiet, very large bird. I think that's what it is like we traumatize. How do we traumatize ourselves when we haven't even experienced anything yet? The future. We're so caught up in the future. We're so definite about the future. But the future, I could probably just be having a Subway sandwich. Or I could be talking to a lady that that might be able to give me a new perspective, a new take on life, a new outlook on life. And realizing and being grateful for the people who are willing to help me. Because it's been said that I've helped people. I've helped people who are going through tough times. So maybe it's just my turn. It's my turn to be helped. Maybe I'll be helped in ways that I never thought I'd be helped. You know, that's one thing is shifting gears, shift to a higher vibration. You can shift to a higher vibration. Hey, this could happen. Somebody might see me who is much more powerful than my mother or my brother, who could give me a job, a job that I can look forward. I think you're watching me transform. You're watching me transform, or even transmute. The difference between transform and transmute. That's something to think about. When you transmute, you become something different altogether. When you transform, you're taking on another form. Guru, that's another word that's thrown around a lot. Guru. Guru means darkness dispeller. So if you can dispel darkness, you're a guru. That's all guru means. Hey, looks like there's another hawk. I'm seeing hawks. This is a hawk land. I'll call this hawk land. I guess it kind of sucks being a hawk because I watch hawks and smaller birds like to follow them and peck them. Smaller birds, like if a hawk is trying to raid their nest or whatever, or trying to kill them, a smaller bird will just peck on them. I think hawks and eagles, they're trying to fly away and this small bird is just pecking them to defend their nest or defend their territory. Somebody's going to watch this. Somebody's going to watch this stream. And somebody's probably going to click on the description and see all the websites I have. Oh, wow. That, I think, is an eagle. It is a huge, it's soaring like a bird of prey. I think I can pick this up. Let's see if I can. Wow, that is just. It's like soaring. Oh, it just went away. And always, whenever I pick up the camera, these big, beautiful birds of prey. Anyway, I tried. Oh, there we go. See it? That is what I'm seeing. Maybe it'll come back around. That is a eagle, I'm pretty sure. It's a landing up there. Anyway, I tried to capture it. We're back now. Man, I'm seeing a lot of birds of prey around here. Seeing like eagles and hawks. Big, beautiful black. It looks black, but it's probably one of those golden eagles. We might have golden eagles around here. Well, I might be seemingly alone. Wow, I just had a flush. I get these flushes every now and again. I guess I call them like all the blood flushes away from my head. There's so many keys that are used to unlock. I would like to be young again. There are younger people who are very, very intelligent. And I'd like to maybe, that would be nice if I could become a young kid. It just be a philosopher. Have more life ahead of me instead of behind me. I guess that's what everybody wants. When they start getting older, I think everybody, it'd be interesting to interview a lot of older people or just let them talk. I think that's the best interview is when you let someone talk because they start to reveal things about themselves and it's spontaneous. So, 52 minutes. People were wondering when I was going to do more. They're X-Trigger, the guy in Nevada, my friend in Nevada, was wondering what happened to me. And here I am doing a stream. It's probably not late enough in Nevada. It's got to be around 5 o'clock right now. I notice the sun is going down later in the day. I'm getting hungry. So I'll probably do this again tomorrow. I almost had to force myself. I guess we'll talk more about this stuff. What are we doing that's self-inflicting? Or what are we doing to hinder our manifestations? Because sometimes it's our subconscious that's stopping things from happening. And I think the exercise we need to do is like Neville Goddard was talking about, right before you go to bed, as you're falling asleep, give it to yourself in the now. Give it to yourself. Like holding that check for $50 or for $500 or whatever. Work your way up, I think, because the more your subconscious believes that it's possible, the more you can grow. So just visualize yourself when you're laying on your bed at night, before you go to sleep, visualize that. Jim Carrey did that. visualize this check in your hand for $50,000 and how you feel. Visualize it, and how do you feel about having that check for $50,000 and depositing it into your ATM. Or I think what would even be more stimulating is walking up to the teller. You're walking up to the teller, and it's an attractive teller, attractive to you personally, and the teller is kind of impressed at the size of this check. And you're just saying, deposit this into my account. Deposit this, and then put half of it away, put $25,000 away in your savings account for taxes, state and federal taxes. Because if you do that, you'll have more than enough to pay your taxes and have some left over. And then you can spend freely. Because the more, you have to kind of work into your visualization. You have to work into your fact checker. Because they say your conscious mind is weaker before bedtime. Before you go to bed, your subconscious is weak, or your conscious mind is weaker. Your fact checker, your lemon, is weaker before you go to sleep. So just have a vivid visualization of you walking into the bank, handing a check to your teller for $50,000. Say, I want to put half of it in my checking, half of it into my savings. Don't touch your savings until the end of the year. And then that could build up. That could build up. You have 25 grand in your checking account. And then visualize another $50,000. And you deposit that to the teller. You give that to the teller to deposit into your checking and savings. Half in your checking, half in your savings. After all of your bills are paid, after all of your debts are paid in full, you have a few $1,000s left. And feel that. It's starting to drizzle out here, so I'm going to end this. We have 58 minutes. So I guess the teacher is ready. I mean, the student is ready. The student is ready if you are in fact the student. And I can teach you a few things that will liberate you, that will liberate me, that will give you an empowerment. Because I'll be only guiding you, and we can learn together. So we're going down the rabbit hole. This is Eddie's Funhouse.